on October the 23rd or the 25th here in Glendale, Arizona at the Glendale Civic Center for the most magical market on the land, the Witch Crafted Market. You can find me and all of my spiritual and medicinal tools on the 25th. So make sure that you guys go over to Witch Crafted here on Instagram and grab your tickets. They're only $5, and that $5 is going to give you a host of the most magical beings that you may be able to find here in Arizona. Okay? Peace, family. My name is Rumunera, and I am the owner and conjurer here at Conjure. Welcome back to my sanctuary. Okay, y'all. Let's jump in. Happy Hoodoo Heritage Month. We are on day 14. I hope that you guys are having an amazing Hoodoo Heritage Month. I hope that you are learning a lot this month. There are so many different creators that are on here, either on TikTok or Instagram, on YouTube, that have been sharing their own personal knowledge of what some of their family traditions may be that have been passed down to them. You have some people sharing their knowledge concerning their own in-depth research or personal research and things that they have learned as well during this month. And there's a wealth of knowledge that is being passed around this month. And so I hope that you guys have absolutely been taking the opportunity so far to learn all that you can learn. And not only that, I hope that you have been inspired through me here at Conjure to do your own in-depth research concerning your own bloodline and your own lineage. You guys know this month is personal for me. I have been doing my own shadow work, digging into not only my biological family, and reconnecting, having a chance to reconnect with my biological family after almost 40 years. But I have also been pulling back the layers and all of the hidden things that have been going on throughout the generations as it relates to the pathologies and why and how my foster family operated the way that they operated. And so I hope that this Hoodoo Heritage Month here at Conjure has not only been inspiring you to get dirty and to get into your ritual, honey, because everything is ritual over here. I hope that it has been encouraging you to get into your shadow and to dig and dig until you are able to pick every aspect of you apart, so that you are able to get to your own pathologies, so that you are able to understand your own traits and why you operate the way that you do, and where those traits may be coming from. Some that you curated on your own, and some that were curated for you and shown to you, as it relates to your lineage and the people that you grew up with, the people that you were influenced from birth. And so happy Hoodoo Heritage Month, everybody. Today, on day 14 of Hoodoo Heritage Month, we are jumping into spiritual baths. Okay, I want to really take a moment to talk to you guys about the importance of doing your spiritual baths consistently. I would say right now where we are in the world, child, I personally think that you guys should be operating at some level of spiritual bathing weekly, honey, bi-weekly. And if you can't do it that much, then you need to make sure that you're at least spitting in your spiritual baths at least once a month. Okay, this spiritual bath that I am going to be showing you guys today is dealing directly with the work that I have been doing this month as it relates to my own bloodline. And so within my lineage, I have been discovering that I am a child of addiction. The generational curse that exists over my family, within my bloodline and my lineage, is addiction. At least on my mother's side. On my father's side, I am still trying to find him. I know his name, so excuse the noise that's around me. And so as it relates to my mother's bloodline, baby, it's a lot of addiction that's around it. So that is one of the generational curses that I know that I have been charged with elevating or rather removing the residue that has been left behind because of that curse. And one of those ways in doing that is to work with spiritual bathing for me, spiritually cleansing myself, the candles and the lamps that I'm burning that are corresponding to the work that I'm doing as it relates to my bloodline and my lineage, and cleaning it up in a sense. These waters and bath it will also be used for the candles that I'm working with, okay, the lamps that I'm going to be working with, everything, the petitions that I'm going to be working with, which is a beautiful segue as we talk about petitions. You guys know here in Arizona, if you are in the Peoria sections, the Phoenix, the Glendales, anywhere in these surrounding areas, you guys know that on October the 25th, I don't know why I'm having such trouble remembering this date, but on October the 25th, here in Glendale, at the Glendale Civic Center, we are going to be attending. I am going to be vending at the most magical market in the land, the Witchcrafted Market, okay? Since being on this journey, there's been a lot of tools that have been birthing through me. And so one of the tools that you're going to be able to find at the Witchcrafted Market on October the 25th are my petition papers. But there's a new collection that is dropping in relation to my petition papers, and it is called the Waning Collection. Okay, it's called the Waning Collection. And if you look, and when you look at the pieces, they are fragile. Okay, they are fragile. Some of them are sturdy and in one piece. You have some that are representing the different phases of the moon, the different aspects of the moon. Some that are truly fading and tethering. Okay, and these pieces were truly inspired. This collection was truly inspired by the spirit of letting go. Okay, by the spirit of undoing. Okay, by the transformative power of those tower moments, those big tower moments that honestly destroy every aspect of who you are, until one day you're looking in the mirror and you have to now go in this journey of refiguring out who you are and what you want and what you desire and what you no longer want, and discovering the things that may have been holding you back, things that may have been stagnating your path. And so on October the 25th, you're going to be able to find my new collection called the Waning Collection. And this is the new collection of petition papers. And this collection is centered around just that, every aspect as it relates to the moon, especially as it relates to transformation, letting go, breaking apart, okay, transmuting, so that you can begin again, so that you can arise again to your fullness. And so this collection is all about letting go and surrendering to the nature of who you are, and surrendering to the desires of this universe for you. Let's try to jump through this really quickly, okay? So this spiritual bath is centered around bloodline cleansing, clearing residue that's left over, stemming from addiction or abuse, mental illness, anything that you find consistently runs through your bloodline, be it with those living or with those already passed on. And so this bath centers around the person who is taking it, who has been charged with doing the work of their bloodline, who's been charged with doing the clearing as it relates to their bloodline, the one that's been charged to identifying the things that are wrong within the bloodline, or rather the things that need to be redirected as far as energy, because everything is energy and everything is spirit, and that's what we always have to keep at the forefront of everything that we do, which is understanding that everything is spirit. Okay, from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to sleep. Everything that you are operating in within that day becomes a working ritual that is producing results. And the one way that you can identify whether the conjure that you are naturally producing on a day is working against you or for you is to look at what is being produced around you. That is one of the clearest ways to understand what you are putting out into the universe, the energy that you are sending out as it relates to what your most truest thoughts are, not the ones that you use to cover the thoughts that you don't want anybody to know about. Okay, the world that we manifest around us is not curating from our conscious mind. Okay, it's curating out of our subconscious. That means the hidden things, the things that you can't see, the things that's not visible to the eye, the things that we hide. And so that is what this bath is focusing on. It is spiritually cleansing and dealing with the residue that you are finding shows up in the work that you're doing as you're working your rituals as it relates to your bloodline. Okay. Let's go through some of the herbs that we're going to be working with quickly. Some of the herbs that we're going to be working with as in relation to dried herbs, we're going to be working with linden. The linden flower deals with peace. It deals with opening up the heart space. Okay, it deals with reconciliation. Okay, it deals with ancestral healing. Sometimes they're used in love workings. This time we're kind of using it in a love working, but love in relation to family. Okay, the linden flower is also a grandmother spirit, or is a connection to, or in correspondence to being considered a grandmother tree. Okay, or a grandmother herb is a feminine herb as well. Okay, and so this is a herb that you want to use when you are working on reconciling familial differences, or even bringing peace or calm to a space or to an environment. Okay, the linden flower within this bath is going to be opening up the heart to forgiveness and making room for tenderness, which can make room for you to be vulnerable. Okay, in addition to making it a harmonious and a tender experience and a tender working that you are doing on behalf of your ancestors. And y'all have to understand that being in the space of doing the work as it relates to your ancestors has to come without judgment. It has to come without judgment so that when you're going into the work, it's pure and it's not clouded with your feelings about the situation. Okay, so the workings are not getting held up by your emotions, by your clouded emotions, okay, by your lack of understanding, by your lack of forgiveness. So before you even enter into the space and take on the work of doing the work as it relates to your bloodline, you have to make sure that forgiveness is there and that you're going into this working with forgiveness. Okay. And so the next herb that we're working with in this bath is the arnica flower. The arnica flower is going to be assisting us with healing and courage and resilience spiritually. The arnica flower is considered to be a warrior herb. It's often used in drawing out bruises and pain as it relates to the physical body. And the bath, we're using it to draw out spiritual trauma and spiritual bruising. Okay, the arnica flower can also be used for the alleviation of spiritual trauma, heartbreak, betrayal, or loss. It embodies the solar fire, and so it gives you courage as you move through pain, as you move through the painful aspects of your journey, as you move through the painful aspects of the information that you may learn about or garner, as you move through the history, working through the history of your family. And the arnica flower also burns away or washes away stagnation, and it encourages recovery. I hope y'all can hear me. The next herb we're working with is the blue flag. Okay, blue flag is dealing with prosperity. And so if you are finding that you have a lot of scarcity and poverty that is existing through your bloodline, whether they are already gone and transitioned to the spirit world or whether they are currently living, the blue flag is going to assist with scarcity and poverty. Okay, exchanging that for prosperity. Okay, blue flag is also dealing with physics or your psychic clarity, cleansing. Blue flag is considered an old conjure root. Okay, it's a powerhouse. You would normally use it for luck or purification or giving power to the tongue. So if you are going into this working and you are shaky and the power that exists in your tongue, you can add some blue flag root into it to boost it, okay, to boost the communication, to boost the confidence around what you're asking for, okay. Blue flag also reveals illusions, okay, and it's excellent for when you are seeking the truth. And it clears emotional and spiritual toxins. And so you can understand why this is a really good route to use in this bloodline recovery spiritual bath. Okay. The fresh herbs that we're going to be using in this bath is basil, dealing with purification, ancestral favor, spiritual elevation, rosemary for remembrance, protection, and strengthening the mind, lemongrass for opening up the roads as you are going into this and petitioning source, petitioning your spirit guides, and petitioning your ancestors for healing and for recovery and restoration. And so lemongrass for opening the roads, for release, for spiritual renewal, and it's going to cut the cords to ancestral pain as well. Mint for vitality, cleansing, and wealth of spirit. The mint is also going to be helping to cool chaotic or heated blood in your bloodline. It's going to restore lineage to, it's going to restore joy to the lineage, and it's going to give you assistance, powerful assistance in your ancestral work. Next, we're dealing with parsley, which deals with justice, renewal, spirit, peace. We're working with parsley as we are petitioning parsley to help us as we deal with peace concerning the dead. Okay, parsley helps to soothe unsettled ancestors and balance the cosmic scales. Time for courage, strength, and release of grief, ancestral trauma. The last two herbs that I want to get into is the kudzu, which is a root, is a bark, and this bark is used for recovery, spiritual reclamation, and bloodline renewal. Okay, this is a root almost like High John, like a conqueror, is going to continue to persist. Okay, to continue to almost knock down barriers, to knock down walls, until it achieves what it is trying to achieve or conquer, what it is that you are petitioning it for. Okay, so this bark or root is a conqueror root. Okay, it's a symbol of endurance, reclamation, and generational repair. This is an excellent root to use when you are working with addiction recovery, or ancestral reconnection, and it's also a good root to use when you are binding loose spiritual threads, okay, that you are seeing as you are working your rituals. The last, this is not an herb, but a liquid or a spirit medium called creolin. This is a liquid or a spirit that was used in old hoodoo conjure. Okay, you don't see too many people talking about it too much today. But creolin is used for purification, is used in exorcism work, and it's also used for protection from corruption. Like I said, it's used in old black folk conjure. We mainly used it for disinfectants, or we would use it for disinfectants around the house. Okay, but historically it was used in southern homes and juke joints or in spiritual houses. Okay, this is a heavy cleaner and it leaves nothing unaccounted for. And Hoodoo Creolan clears, okay, death energy or malefic work that you are seeing happen. And it also is very good for removing generational residue. And then the last thing that I want to give you guys, and the last two things that I want to give you guys for your spiritual baths as you are working them are two scriptures. The first scripture is Exodus 15 and 25, and this is a wonderful scripture to use as you are mixing your waters with your hands and you are speaking to the waters, connecting and taking time to really connect with those waters and to speak to the waters and to petition the waters. Okay, all of your herbs are already in there, your oils, okay, anything else that you plan on using, your powders, your conjure powders, your salts, okay, whatever mediums you are using in this bloodline recovery brew is already in there. So now you're just pouring your own energy into it. You're saying your prayers, you're speaking your incantations. And one of the scriptures is Exodus 15 and 25. And the scripture goes, and the waters were made sweet because you are sweetening your bloodline. Okay? You are sweetening and removing the residue. And as you remove the residue, you want to leave something, an offering behind in a sense. Okay? Something sweet to assist them. Okay? And all of the pain that you are uprooting, that you are helping to uproot and deal with and to discipline. You want to leave behind something sweet. And so as you are mixing your waters, you are sweetening your waters. You can also put some honey on your tongue as well, so that your communication as you are speaking is sweet, so that as you are speaking to the waters is receiving your communication sweetly. And the last scripture that I want you guys to use is Ezekiel 36, 25 through 26. And then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart will I also give you, and a new spirit will I also impart within you. And when you hear the word idol, you know we deal with words over here. Verbiage is very important. Language is very important. When you think about idols, when you're reading the scripture, you're not thinking about idols in a Christian nice Western sense. You're not looking at it with old eyes. Those are old eyes, okay? With your new eyes and your new perspectives, okay, you understand that metaphysically the word idol breaks down into image, energy, or illusion. Okay, and so this speaks to anything that receives the energy, reverence, or authority that rightfully belongs to the divine source within you. It's almost like not casting your pearls to swan. Swan can be, okay, and so this image or this image of an idol is you focusing on the things that you see generationally within your bloodline has been made idols, things that you see within your bloodline where they have given their energy, where they have outsourced their energy, where they have turned something else into a bigger energy power or source than thine own self. Okay, when the Bible talks about not having any other gods before thee, we're not talking about an imaginary person that's living in the sky. We're talking about the God body that you physically are, the I am that you physically are, and putting another thing, another person above thee, above you, okay, that you're making an idol. Okay, and so when you are working and you are alleviating and identifying those idols within your bloodline, it simply means that you are identifying the areas, the things, the people, the places, and the things where your bloodline's energy has been outsourced. Okay, You're pulling and calling that energy back. Anywhere that you are seeing an energy dependency, because energy is simply a projection of your power. So where have your ancestors given their power to? What have they submitted to? For me, for mine, has been addiction. In every area of addiction, it has been abuse. In every area of abuse, it has been child sexual assault. In every area of abuse, and covered and coveted. And so when you are identifying the idols within your bloodline, make sure that you're calling a thing so that you're able to see it, so that you're able to identify it, and therefore able to alleviate it and cleanse it, okay, and put something sweet in its place, okay? And so this is all the information that you are going to need to curate your bath. Also, what I want to say is I am trying to start moving away from showing Conjure online. It's time for us to start pulling back our secrets and pulling back visually the way that we show how we work, okay, how we work our Conjure, how we work our roots. For those of you who are familiar with these practices, and you are unaware of how to curate these baths, you can always DM me for deeper information or for step by step, and I will go deeper with you. But this is where I am going to leave you. And I will show you guys the herbs, and I'll show you me putting it together. But that is where the ritual is going to be stopping for me from here on out, and so that we can start keeping these things sacred again, start making our Conjure sacred and secret again, okay? And so I want to thank you for joining me on today's episode of our Hoodoo Heritage Month Day 14. I hope that you are able to take something away from today's video, and that you are able to make this floor wash or make this a spiritual bath, and to adopt some of these herbs and roots or elixirs into your spiritual practices, okay? And so until next time, y'all, I will see y'all on the other side. Happy conjuring and happy digging and happy Hoodoo Heritage Month. Until next time, y'all, peace. October the 23rd or the 25th here in Glendale, Arizona at the Glendale Civic Center for the most magical market on the land, the Witch Crafted Market. You can find me and all of my spiritual and medicinal tools on the 25th. So make sure that you guys go over to Witch Crafted here on Instagram and grab your tickets. They're only $5, and that $5 is going to give you a host of the most magical beings that you may be able to find here in Arizona, okay?